360 for short is what I call it, is the first application designed specifically with the needs of sports agents in mind. And if you've seen it, if you get a chance to demo it, you're going to be blown away. It's really amazing. But that's just one of Trevor's ventures. In his capacity as principal of dynamic talent, he's also spent decades in the name, image, and likeness industry. And I thought that was a topic that's pretty relevant these days and that y'all might have some interest in. So I thought we'd bring Trevor up to talk a little bit about NIL. So a hand for Trevor Swinson, please.
Hands up, are you sports agents? Hands up if you are a marketing manager. Cool, the rest of you guys can go. NIL versus endorsement. Another round of hands. If you feel NIL and endorsement is the exact same thing, raise your hand. Good job. Does anybody know why they're different? Anybody want to answer that one?
So I would say, in my opinion, name, image, and likeness is capitalizing on your brand, right? And endorsement is you using your brand to endorse another company.
Okay, roundabout kind of, yeah. So NIL, what it means to me, means it's a business. So NIL means you're creating a business for your client, meaning you have to brand them. You got to get them a logo. You got to get them a T-shirt deal. You got to go out and do all kinds of different things. Endorsement means you're going out. You're getting the 1%ers. You're getting them, their marketing dollars. You're getting them their car contracts. You're getting them shoes. You're getting all that stuff. It's so limited for everybody. So right now with the NIL rush, and it's unfortunate that this is the only company that, there's a lot of companies that got it right, but the biggest one, is Barstool Sports, even though they got sued and they lost, but they signed everybody. And they figured it out. They're like, we're going to go out, we're just going to create a whole bunch of branding for these kids, and if one pops, we're going to do it. So with the NIL thing, another thing, did anybody attend the class that NIL hosted? Anybody?
How many? There are a few in here, weren't there? We had a lot of people.
No?
I'm not sure.
So with the NIL class, whatever, it's essentially where we'll go in, we can teach you guys how to set up your NIL stuff. We'll show you guys how to set up merch stores for free, where there's no investment to it. We'll show you guys how to do branding stuff, where you're going to go out and create a logo. You're going to go out and show marketing stuff, show you Facebook Ads Manager, show you Google Ads Manager, show you how to do tagging, geo-targeting, all this kind of different stuff, because NIL means you're creating a brand for this client to where they're going to create revenues. And the revenues is what you guys are making money off of if you're an agent or a marketing manager. Endorsements, it's a one-shot system. Obviously, you're going to get paid on the check that comes to you, or you're going to get a piece of the merchandising that comes out to you, type of thing. So that's mostly what the difference between the two is. So,
Trevor, a lot of the people here are signing players that aren't quarterbacks. I think most of the deals that we've seen, the big flashy ones that grab the headlines, are for quarterbacks.
Correct.
What advice would you give to someone who maybe signed an offensive tackle but still wants to try to take advantage of this new era of NIL?
I mean, the advice with signing the clients that aren't that is essentially the way I think of NIL is modeling contracts. And everybody says NIL is this brand new thing because the NCAA allows it now. They've been allowing it forever. You can always be a model. You can always go shoot a movie. You can do whatever you want. So if you got a good-looking kid, it doesn't matter if they're an offensive lineman, if they're running back, if they're whatever they are, if they're the water cooler kid, it doesn't matter what it is. If they're an attractive person, they're going to go out, they're going to get those deals to where they can create that brand, they can become a fitness influencer, they can do a whole range of things to where their branding brings in revenues to where the agent shares on that percentage, whatever they're doing for that, and then obviously they're helping them run their company.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, looking at this from a traditional NFL agency that just did contracts, it's become an arms race. It's kind of gotten crazy. What advice would you have from an agency like that that's used to doing things the old way and that is now seeing kind of the industry turned upside down?
That's a tough question. It's a really tough question. I mean, I guess it's getting the agency to change its ways, and I have another weird question. Show of hands, does anybody have an AOL email address in here? Anybody?
All right. We have one.
They teach an entire class about you at a seminar I go to. I like that. So, having old ways or whatever, you guys are in a forever changing industry. You got to constantly change, especially with your marketing aspect of things. The older version of it is you got to figure out how to figure it out online. But then there's also a newer way where everything's done in person. So now I could go into a million different things.
Sure.
That you just have to be able to change your mind and have an open mind to it. So
Okay, I'm not done with the tough questions.
bring them on.
Let's say you're an athletic director at a school, and you're seeing the sand shifting under your feet. What kind of advice do you give to them? I mean, so they can kind of stay apace when it comes to recruiting and all those kind of things that are part of this new era.
Their school more achievable to have those kids come. Man, that's also a good one. I mean, the NFL, Major League Baseball had a really good one where everybody that got signed, they get the blue check mark on Twitter and then on Instagram.
Interesting.
So you might know what the blue check mark is.
I think everybody knows what the blue check mark is.
So the blue check mark for kids is like this huge thing. It just means that more people are going to see it on the post of what happens. Obviously, offering social media build is huge with kids because they all rely on social media. Having the ability to, it's cool to have the big buildings at the schools and have the meal plans, but kids don't care about that. Like you have to offer them something that appeals to them.
Absolutely.
It's all gaming and Instagram these days.
That's true. That's true.
So,
all right.
Bring it on.
Recently verified university.
Yep.
And the blue check mark, like you can apply to get that, anybody can get that.
But I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if you have somebody that's with Facebook or Twitter or whatever, like they'll just do it for you.
Yeah,
Like there's no more application fees.
So like, coming from like a second big SEC school, where I know like my like friends that were players and stuff, their biggest thing, what can you do for me as far as, because I can just get my name out there, building my brand. So I see a lot of my friends up there doing their own t-shirt lines. Like a lot of people my age are doing t-shirt lines, selling like anything that Kalia names. Like I got an integrated strategic communications. I get it.
Yep.
But it's really kind of coming down to understanding how the market works. It's always changing. Social media, yes. Twitch, yes. Like you can pull that in. Same thing you said, like the modeling contract.
Yep.
You can look good, but you can also just. You don't have to be the best looking, but you have to know what sells to the next person.
Correct. The thing is about the low-key, we're going to go into big topics, everybody. So the thing is about the low-key brands is you actually have to buy the merchandise first. So the things that I do with a lot of the NIL stuff is I teach them how to do print on demand to where the person comes to your store that's built for you. They buy it. There's never an investment. It's 100% profit. Just gets put right into your account. And then there's no shipping, whatever. In the low-key brands, there's usually an initial investment. You got to buy all the stuff in there, and then it sells out. So True. It just depends on what style of clothes you're going for. So.
A lot of people see stuff they know, like, oh, this person probably going for, especially after you feel send it to their friends, like, hey, just wear this stuff on your Instagram, and then give you that shout out.
100%. Yeah, it's all about the cross marketing too. It's perfect examples. But that's exactly what NIL is those kids building their brand. Like an athletic director says, hey, we can do all this and help you build your brand. You may not go pro, but you're going to have a functioning business by the time you leave college. That's a big deal. So I would think for a student. So.
Okay. All right. So last question, Trevor. When I talk to school personnel directors and people in recruiting, they talk about de-recruiting players after they've signed. But NIL is by its nature, it's about self-promotion. There's a certain amount of that. I mean, there's no escaping it. How do you maintain team unity in the NIL era?
I think it's the exact same thing as it's always been, even through all like the NFL and everything. You're always going to have a superstar. So like you got to cater to everybody. But at the college level, there's no pay difference. It's just I've got 500,000 followers versus the third string quarterback that has 1,000 followers that doesn't know what whatever it is. You don't. You obviously got to put your priorities where they lie with the kid that's going to bring more players to the school, but. It's playing favorites. It's going to happen. So it's going to be tough, but you have to dedicate the time to everybody that's doing it. So, but you just have to show everybody how to give them the tools to build the brand, and then once the brand's built, whichever one takes off is the one that you help focus a little bit more on.
I got you.